First question comes from Aaron Portzline, The Athletic.
Hey, John. Last year, Cam played so much with Dubois last couple of years. You seem not to favor Bjorkstrand next to Dubois. Can you tell me what happened, between Dubois and Cam, or that maybe that didn't work as well as you'd like it to, and why you think Bjorkstrand is a fit there with Dubois now?
I don't know if he is or not. I'm still not settled on my lines.
Aaron, you have a follow-up? Next question is Brian Hedger for the Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, John. Boone Jenner has obviously had a chance here the last couple seasons to be a center and to prove that he's a center in this league. And what areas, have you seen him grow maybe in that role?
Well, it's not just the center ice position. Jen's, he can play both wing and center. It's not so much growing. It's just what he brings to the team every night as far as how he plays. He's been a really good face-off guy for us. I think in one area, not as far as a position, but as far as a penalty killer, he has really grown there. If that, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but he played wing a lot, but he's our center iceman. He's one of our center icemen. Again, guys, I don't know what our lines are going to be, so you probably know what they were in practice today. I'm not so sure that's what they're going to be. But Jens is just a glue guy for this hockey club.
Next, we have Ryan Kennedy. Go ahead, Ryan.
Next.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger.
Oh, that's me again. You know what? Just following up really quick on Jens. Just his ability to create scoring chances. He can kind of do that by himself a little bit. How big is that, I guess? Just to be able to kind of create scoring chances from that middle spot and hopefully, put the puck in the net for you guys.
Well, he's a forechecker. He's not your prototypical center that moves the puck and brings his wings into play. He does a lot of his work as far as forechecking. It's the game that we play. It's a style of our game that it just fits perfectly for him. And how many pucks he comes up with, not making the perfect pass, but just allowing us to keep possession offensively and make things happen that way.
We'll try Ryan again.
Next.
Can you unmute Ryan? Okay, guess not. Next, we have Bill Rabinowitz.
Hi, John. Another question about Boone. Given Toronto's skill level, Boone is more of a kind of he's not a speed guy necessarily. What's the level of comfort you have with him with that matchup?
Yeah, I think people misjudge as far as how he can play, as far as the speed game. I think he's a smart enough player positionally that helps him quite a bit. I've used him in matchups against top players since I've been here, and he's been a big part of our team trying to compete in this league and find its way. So I'm not afraid to use him in any type of situation.
Next, we have Jess Svoboda.
Yeah, Torts, a guy that kind of slides under the radar quite a bit, I think, is Dean Kukin. But just the playoffs last year was really, he got a chance to, see his game get out there against some of the best in the world and really, I think, played pretty well. Where have you seen his game grow over the last year, too, as well as he's got more experience? And I know you like his legs and his ability to transition the puck, but has he really kind of settled into his game over this last year?
Yeah, well, I think he's got some balls as far as just holding on to the puck, not being afraid to make a mistake, picks his way through. Yeah, I just do. I just think he's fearless as far as how he plays. And, he's in a battle with Nudie, I think, for that sixth spot. But he's really come on. And 2 or 3 years ago, it wasn't a name we talked a lot about, but he has really grown as a player. And I do think it's just the way that mistakes don't bother him. He just goes out and plays. And he has done a really good job with our transition game.
Next, we have Mark Scheig.
Hi, John. Question about Cam for you. He was nominated for the King Clancy yesterday. It's had an up and down year. Just where has he grown as a leader to you? And just talk about the opportunity he's going to have to make a big impact in this playoff for you.
What is the King Clancy?
For leadership.
Yeah. Well, I think Cam is. I always say the first time I started coaching this team, Cam was a scratch the game before. And I have relied on him from day one in all situations. He's a very important part of our team if we want to succeed in any game. I do, I'm very honest about it. I think if he isn't playing with the energy that he needs to play with, he is an average, below average player. I think his energy level and the way he can dart and get to things and is very important. And that has been inconsistent, but I watched him practice again today. The past 2 or 3 practices, you can see that he's getting ramped up here. We've had very frank conversations. He needs to assume more responsibility as far as what he's going to do on the ice. And leadership isn't always done with your mouth. It's done with your legs most of the time as far as how you play. I think that's a very important thing for him as we enter this series against Toronto.
Okay, we got time for 3 more. We'll start with Jeff Svoboda.
That's one. That counts as one.
We'll go to Aaron Portzline.
Hey, John, much has been made about your depth defensively. Can you speak to how different your team is, though, when Ryan Murray is healthy and able to play, and how integral he could be to this series, given the way that puck moves with the Leafs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Murray's he's just a really good player. His vision, the transition he brings to us, I think he's one of our better players in understanding position, where he needs to be in the defensive zone as people coming through him. He doesn't chase the game. He lets the game come to him. He's an important guy. It's been very frustrating for him and for the organization as far as how many games that he has missed because he's that good and has practiced very well. He just brings a quiet leadership as far as how he plays the game and how steady he can be. Very important for us, especially with such a young team that we have.
Allison Lucan.
Allison, what's going on?
Not much, John. How are you?
Very good. Yourself?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
I wanted to ask you, you have talked a lot about speed going into this series. You've answered a lot of questions about speed. Are there areas of the game where that isn't a particularly important facet? Is it the forecheck? Is it getting behind the defense? Is it true offense? Where does speed need to come into play for you and how your team needs to execute?
Well, quite honestly, everywhere. It's such a quick game. The way the league is playing right now, it's everywhere. But there's one important part of, I guess maybe could be near the top of the list as far as where you need your speed. And quite honestly, it's the thinking part of it. It's transition. It's knowing where you're going with that puck before you get it for us to transition into offense. And that isn't just a physical skill. That's a mental skill as far, and that's where Murr is one of the best at it. Coming off that question on Murr, before he gets that puck, he knows where it's going. And I think that adds the speed and quickness to a game is how quickly you can think it. Everybody thinks speed is the physical skill, but you got to think the game quick also to have it transform down to your legs and hands.
Awesome. Thanks.
You bet.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have Boone Jenner and Zach Wierenski here in a moment.